Yo, what is going on guys, and welcome to another video. Today we are continuing the how-to series following up from the Yoda video that I did for you 3 days ago. This is going to be an in-depth video tutorial on how to play as all of the heroes and villains in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today we are covering the iconic bounty hunter Boba Fett, and we're going to be taking an in-depth look on all of Boba Fett's strengths and his weaknesses, his star cards, abilities and advanced gameplay techniques. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Boba Fett's star cards and begin the video. And just a quick heads up for you guys, I am speaking much faster in this video. The reason for this is I've got so much information I want to try and cram it all into the video within the time limit. So let's begin. So the first star card I want to talk about is fuel efficiency. This star card allows your jetpack to burn 15% less fuel while flying. So let me break this down for you. When the star card fuel efficiency is not equipped, Boba Fett's jetpack drain time is approximately 5.3 seconds when being used full throttle. But with this card equipped, his jetpack drain on full throttle is now 6.5 seconds. Now you may be thinking, well, why would I max out a card that only grants me an additional 1.2 seconds? Well, this is where this video comes into play, and I will show you how to extend the time from 6.5 seconds to a total of around 8. And it's actually pretty simple. When flying with Boba Fett, you never want to be using full throttle unless you're trying to get somewhere very quickly. The best thing you can do to extend the fly time is to pulse. Pulsing allows you to remain in the air but save your fuel at a conserved rate. For example, you see 2 or 3 enemies and you want to be in the air and make yourself harder to hit. You can fly up and sway side to side by pulsing the throttle button every time you start to drop a little. This way you're not burning all of your fuel and it allows you to stay in the air much longer. Give it a try and I'm sure you're going to love it, and hopefully it will make it much more manoeuvrable for you. And obviously if you want to get to a specific place super fast to kill an enemy with an ion disruptor, or you need to retreat due to low health, you can just use full throttle and this will get you where you want to go in record time. Now for the second star card, called Blaster Disabler. This card allows your concussion rocket to disable enemy blasters for 1.5 seconds. Simply put, it's an amazing card for when you're fighting 2 or more enemies at once. I would definitely recommend having this card equipped all the time, as I think it gives Boba a big advantage on the battlefront and also gives you a couple precious seconds to kill your enemies before they start to light you up. Now what I've noticed about this card is that you actually have to hit the player with the concussion rocket in order for it to be effective. I've tried multiple times shooting as close as I could to my enemy's feet and it just doesn't work. But when it works absolute wonders. Let me give you a quick example. When you see a group of enemies, the last thing you want to do is just fly straight in there and try to kill them. Boba Fett's biggest weakness is his extremely poor health, coming in at just 500. So by using Blaster Disabler when you get a direct hit, it immediately disables your target's blaster and all surrounding target's blasters as well, which is super cool as most people think it only disables the enemies that you hit. This then gives you an opening to either rocket barrage them all to their demise, or if you're handy with Boba Fett's EE3 blaster, to kill them all quickly while their blasters are all disabled. It's also important to note that it not only disables their blaster but still concusses all of the enemies that was caught in the blast, which furthers your advantage even more by blinding them. Try to be as quick as possible after you've landed a direct hit, as the time that they are concussed and disabled starts to count down immediately. So I would advise to use rocket barrage if there are 2 or more enemies, as this would be the quickest way of dispatching them. Now for the third and final card, called Rocket Barrage. This card allows you to fire an extra 4 rockets. This is a no-brainer at all and is a must-have equipped card. It's by far his best star card and can wipe out groups of enemies in one go. Every player I've came across, and I'm sure it's the same for you, has had the same card equipped, and you most definitely want this as well, and it's not hard to see why. It's an extremely destructive card that can be used on infantry, heroes or vehicles to deal massive amounts of damage and destruction. It's not the most accurate, especially while flying, so try to be at a distance around close to medium when using it, as the rockets start to lose accuracy the further they travel, and you don't want that happening. Don't waste your time using rocket barrage when at long distance, and just wait for your time when you're up close and personal. Okay, now that we have Boba Fett's star cards covered, let's talk about his abilities, starting off with Concussion Rocket. Boba Fett fires a single concussion shot, dazing his enemies caught in the blast. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it's best to use this ability when you're about to go up against 2 or more enemies, as this minimises the overall damage you're going to take, if any. It's also fantastic to use on enemies that you have flanked, as this gives you even more time to kill them, as when they're concussed and dazed, their turning speed is completely slowed down, allowing you to take them out before they even know what hit them. Unlike the Blaster Disabler, you don't actually have to hit your enemies directly for this one to work, and you can aim at their feet or close to the enemies you're aiming at and it will still concuss them, blurring their screen and slowing their movements down. It has a very quick cooldown time of just 15 seconds, so this is an ability that you definitely want to use every chance you get. Boba Fett's next ability is called For the Hunt. Enemies around Boba Fett are revealed for a short period of time, during which Boba Fett disappears from enemy radars and can utilise unlimited jetpack fuel. This is an amazing ability with an 8-second active time and a ridiculously super fast recharge time, coming in at exactly 10 seconds, which makes this his best ability by far. There's a few ways to use this in line with Boba Fett's standard jetpack fuel, and I'm going to be covering them all. So when this ability is active, you reveal your enemies to you, meaning that you can see them through walls and objects, which is an amazing tool to ambush your bounties. It's great for tight spaces and doorways as you can see all the danger ahead of you and you won't walk yourself into a trap. You also disappear from enemy radar so they can no longer see you on the minimap as a red circle, meaning enemies won't actively seek you out. So you can expect a lot less resistance from enemies while this is active, and again it also adds to the ambush effect that you can use. In addition to being able to see through walls and disappear off of your enemy's radar, you are also able to use unlimited jetpack fuel. In fact, the only real reason why you would want to be using this ability is for the unlimited jetpack fuel anyway, the rest is just a bonus. I'm not saying forget about the other attributes that it grants, but as its recharge time is super fast, coming in at only 10 seconds, you want to be using this as much as you can every single time. And when you're in closer quarters, that's then when the other abilities can come into play. Now for Boba Fett's third and final ability called Rocket Barrage. You fire a hail of rockets launched from Boba Fett's glove, causing massive destruction and devastation. This is a super offensive ability that can easily wipe out more than just a few targets at once, and as mentioned before, you definitely want to have this paired with the star card Intense Barrage. No ifs, no buts, just do it. Rocket Barrage's standard form allows you to fire 4 rockets, which is just a no-no. Why have 4 rockets when you can have 8? So taking into consideration that you have the Intense Barrage star card equipped, you're gonna knock down enemies like bowling pins. Rocket Barrage has a 20-second recharge time, which is actually very short considering how powerful that it is. It's best used on groups of 2 or more enemies, as it's just a waste to just use it on one single infantry unit unless you're playing heroes and villains. For that mode, I would suggest the star cards, Intense Rocket Barrage, Fuel Efficiency, and Anti-Hero Rockets. Now that we've covered Boba Fett's star cards and his abilities, let's talk about some advanced gameplay techniques. So as it's no secret that Boba Fett starts with one of the least amounts of health in the game, I've had to tailor these tips and tricks based around his health. Simply put, you cannot be overly offensive with Boba due to his extremely low HP and his stunned effect when being shot out of the sky by any Wookiee bowcaster, the DL exploding shot, or layer secondary fire. The best way to use Boba Fett is to be sneaky and smart. He's not like Darth Vader who can just run up in there and reenact the scene from Rogue One. You need to be clever while using him and all of his abilities in order to maximise your kills and score and of course stay alive. The best way to do this is to think ahead and always watch what's going on in the battlefront. Don't for one second think that you're invincible, as his low health will leave you dead within a few short seconds if you're not careful. Another tip I can give you is don't always fly. This leaves you open and an instant target for anyone to see. Try to stick to the edges of the battlefront and use objects for cover and pop in and out while getting kills. Another important tip is dodging. Boba Fett has one of the fastest dodges in the game, just like me talking. While it may not be the biggest dodge, the sheer speed of being able to go left and right, forward and back in such quick succession is far more useful than being able to dodge a longer distance, as your enemies can easily predict where you're going to land with most dodges. Keep an eye out for enemy ion turrets as they will knock you out the sky, as well as enemy Wookiee bowcasters, and just have a general awareness of your surroundings. Boba Fett is a fairly diverse character and can be used on most maps, his best being Kashyyyk, Naboo, Endor and Yavin 4. But try to avoid using him on maps such as Death Star 2, Hoth and Starkiller Base, as some of these maps later on takes away his ability to fly properly due to small room sizes. Okay, now I can slow it down a little. Thanks a bunch guys for watching this and putting up with my fast talking throughout the video. I hope you crush with Boba Fett and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks very much and peace.